Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Here we want to look at how we can put strings together. We can put strings together using the addition operator, or we can use the StringBuffer class or the StringBuilder class. And we'll be looking at the differences between the StringBuffer and the StringBuilder. But first, let us see how we can put strings together using the plus operator. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to define a string and I'm calling it S1, that is string 1, and my string 1 is Java, so Java with a space and then over there. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add some strings to the S1 string, that is I'm going to concatenate some strings to it, and I can do this by using the plus operator. That is pretty simple. So let me define another string. I'm calling it S2 here, and then S2 will be S1 plus, then I'll add another string to it. So Java is fun, and let me add another one, and it is a nice programming. Then I'll add the last one, language. So you can see that we've been able to add a lot of strings together using just the plus operator. What the compiler does is that when you invoke the addition operator, the compiler itself creates a string builder object for you. So what you see here, the compiler does it for you, so there is no need for you to create a string builder object here for your addition of strings. So let me try to print out what we have over here and see what is actually happening here. So I am printing the string. First I'll print the string 1, and then after that I'll print the string 2. All right, so let me print the string 2 also here, and let's see what we have over here. All right, so we have the first one is Java. As you see, the string 1 is Java, but the second string I concatenated, I added a lot of strings here. This was the first one, that is the S1 string, that is the first one. The second I added is fun, I added, and it is a nice programming language, so I've added some strings to it, and I have a full sentence or statement here, that is Java is fun and it is a nice programming language. So one way that you can add strings together or put strings together in Java is by using the addition operator. You can also do that by using the StringBuffer. String in itself is immutable, that is to say that you cannot change a string. Now if you look at these two strings here, even if I was to use the same name, the strings will be different. If I was to use x1 here, again, I have defined s1 here, right? So s1 is a string here, but if I put s1 here, it is not that different, or these two strings exist separately. String is immutable, so once you create a string and you change the string, a new string is created. But if we do not want to do that, we can also use the StringBuffer. The StringBuffer is a class that allows you to create strings, but in this case the strings are mutable. The string buffer is mutable, but the string is not mutable. So I'm going to create a StringBuffer object here, so I'm calling it buffer. Okay, and here I'm not passing any argument to the constructor, but I could have done that. But let's look at this. So what I'm going to do is that so now I have an empty string. I'm going to append string, that is I'm going to add strings to the StringBuffer. So that is the buffer reference variable, that is the StringBuffer reference variable buffer. So I'll call one of the methods of the StringBuffer called append, and I'll append this statement Java. So that is the first one. Then I'll go on to append again. Okay, Java is fun. Okay, and you see, one thing is that you don't necessarily have to be doing it one by one. You can append it continuously like that. So let's look at that way too. Java is fun, and it is, that is what I'm talking about. I can do this, it is, then I say dot append again, it is a nice then I'll go dot append again, nice programming, or okay, then I'll say append again, okay, language. So that's the last one, so I can do this also. And let me print out and see what we have here. Okay, so I'm going to print the buffer, and let's see what we have here. Okay, all right, so when I print the buffer, we will have Java is fun and it is a nice programming language. So there is another way that you can concatenate, or you can put strings together in Java by using the StringBuffer class. So let's see what we have. So we see Java is fun and it is a nice programming language. Now the third way you can do this is to use the StringBuilder. But first, let me tell you that I could have begun by passing a string to the StringBuffer constructor, because there is another constructor of the StringBuffer class that takes an argument. So I could have done that. I could have first passed a string to it, and it would have been the same thing compiled. You see, Java is fun and it is a nice programming language. All right, the third way that you can also put strings together is by using the StringBuilder. After this, I'm going to show you the difference between the StringBuffer and the StringBuilder, which one came first and which one came later on. So first, I'm going to create a StringBuilder object here. I'm calling it builder. Okay. And it's very similar to the StringBuffer. What I did earlier on is essentially the same. The only difference between the StringBuilder and the StringBuffer is that the StringBuilder is thread safe, while the StringBuffer is not thread safe. So what it means is that with a StringBuilder, if you are working in a multi-threading environment, it is very, very appropriate to use the StringBuffer, because it is thread safe. But if it is a single thread, then you have to use the StringBuilder, because the StringBuilder is faster than the StringBuffer. Because with the StringBuilder there is no synchronization, but with the StringBuffer there is synchronization. So here, what I'm going to do is, as I did with the buffer, I'm just going to append some strings to it. So the first string is Java, then I'll add again is sorry, it's fun. It's fun. Okay, and nice. All right, programming language. So as I did with the other one, we could have as well appended it continuously like that, append, and many append people, append steady it. Let me add the last one here, so steady it. Okay, so sorry. Okay, all right, so we print what is here, and I'm going to call the print line method, and we will print the builder, that is the StringBuilder object here. So let's see what we have here. All right, so we have Java is fun and a nice programming language, and many people study it. All right, so we can use the addition operator to concatenate or put strings together. We can as well use the StringBuffer class to concatenate strings, or use the StringBuilder. But why or when should we use the StringBuilder? When should we use the StringBuffer? The StringBuffer is generally slow. So when you're dealing with, it was made for multi-threading programs. That is when you are building something that deals with multi-threading, and you need synchronization in it, then you use StringBuffer. But I think it is an overkill to use StringBuffer if it is a single thread. Let us see the time it takes for a string builder object to concatenate or create a string, and let us also look at the time that it takes a StringBuffer to also create such a string. So what we're going to do right now is that first we are going to look at a StringBuffer. And to first do that, I want us to get the time. So we are going to use the static method current time. So let me say get the current time. So I will declare a long variable. I'm calling it time, and I'll call the current time millis. So this will get the time in milliseconds. So it gets the time in milliseconds. So that is the current time here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a string buffer object here. So string buffer, calling it buffer. All right, and there is a string buffer object, so create string buffer object. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to concatenate or put together 100,000 strings, and I'm going to see the time that the string buffer object is going to take to be able to put 100,000 strings together. So to do this, I'm going to use the for loop to cycle through that. So you see that I is less than 100,000. So I'm going to go through 100,000 loops here. Okay, so what is going to happen is that the string buffer objects, I'm going to append just one string here. I can type anything here, so let me say just the letter A, so append the letter A append this letter A 100,000 times. So after appending it 100,000 times, I just want to know the time that the string buffer object is going to take to do that. So first I've taken the current time here, so the program will first take the current time, and after that I want you to print the time it takes to do that. So print the time that it takes to do this. All right, so I'll once again call the current time. All right, and I will subtract the initial time that I had taken already. So the initial time was time, so I'm subtracting that. So I want you to tell me this time, and then so this is what I'm gonna do, and the time is in milliseconds. So milliseconds. Okay, so that is what their string builder is going to tell me. So the first iteration will be the string builder. So let's go to the second one. The second one will be the string buffer. So all right, so this time around I'm also going to create a string builder object to concatenate the object, and to concatenate the strings, and I will look at the difference in time with the string buffer and that of the string builder. So I'm going to take the time again. I'm going to reinitialize the time again. So time will now be equal to stem.current time. So say initialize the time again, or let me say reinitialize the time. So that's what I'm doing here, and after that I want to create a string builder object this time around, not a string buffer. I want to compare the two, so I'm calling it builder here. Okay, string builder. Okay, oh sorry, that is buffer, so let me call it builder. Sorry, string builder. Okay, and I have string builder here. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing I did here. So I'll just copy this code. I'm not going to type again. I'll copy this code from here and put it down here. So it's going to cycle through, but here I have to change this. This time around it's a builder, not a buffer. Okay, and then I'll get a time in milliseconds. So I'll get a time again and I'll find it. So the string builder takes less time, the string buffer takes more time, and that is why it is appropriate to use the string builder to do this thing. If it is just one thread, you are not dealing with multi threading. Okay, so if you look at the first one, is 21 milliseconds. So it takes the string buffer 21 milliseconds to concatenate those strings. That is to concatenate 100,000 strings. The string buffer takes 21 milliseconds to concatenate 100,000 strings, and the string builder takes just 8 milliseconds. So that is even less than half of it. Let me compile again. So as you keep doing it, you will see that always the builder's time is smaller than that of the buffer, you see. So no matter what, you always have a very nice time with that. So that is how you can put strings together in Java. You can use the addition operator, you can use the string buffer, and you can use the string builder.